We have not met.
Wait a sec.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Trouble like a newscaster.
Okay, go.
Okay, all right, Carolyn. So we have not met. I'm Craig Moore. I'm the host of these wonderful guys we've been friends with for 30 years. We've been having a wonderful, wholesome weekend. You can see the fresh air, the beautiful terrain. We were at Red Rock yesterday, and one of the things we've done is discuss literature. And we moved on to The Wizard of Oz because I have a 2-year-old daughter who is completely infatuated with The Wizard of Oz, and I've seen it probably 100 times in the last month. And The Wizard of Oz is a very interesting work because it's multiple layers of complexity, and almost everyone you meet has something new to add. And we you know, some of the symbolism is very interesting, in that the witches represent the banks, and back in the 1930s during the Depression, and the houses is kind of interesting now with the foreclosure of the houses crushing the banks, and it's actually what happened in the Great Depression. It's sort of interesting how history repeats itself. One of the things that we thought would be valuable for Ralph is that it has to do with what is a friend of Dorothy's. And in the gay community, a way of introducing yourself and confirming that someone you might be interested in is gay is to ask, are you a friend of Dorothy's, or do you know Dorothy's, or have you been to Dorothy's house, something like that. And that's a very important sort of slogan that they use in order to yeah. And Ralph is very interested in this, and it's going to make his life easier, and I think he'll get beat up a lot less these days. So that's one of the things we learned about The Wizard of Oz. And then there's other layers of complexity, and the Tin Man actually represents the industrialized, oppressed factory worker, and the Scarecrow is the hardworking, penurious farmer, and so it's fairly very interesting thing. So if you thought The Wizard of Oz was a very simple work, it isn't. What else we just learned? Oh, The Wizard of Oz is also
The Wicked.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure I understand.
Tie Out to Wicked, which is a popular Broadway play, is an extension of The Wizard of Oz, where the witch is actually the heroine of the play, and the fairy godmother is actually the evil player. So it just keeps going.
It isn't an indictment of the modern media, which is kind of making things to be different than they actually are.
That's my interpretation.
It's a scathing indictment of capitalism.
Capitalism.
Yeah,
What it is.
and in fact, some of it speculated it's an indictment of the whole Bush administration as well.
Oh, really?
The war on terrorism. So.
You know, this really transitions nicely to some of the greater literature works that we all read growing up. Dr. Seuss, for example.
Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Stephen King was the whole Dark Tower series was based on The Wizard of Oz, and the symbolism there as well too. So we've covered a lot of ground in this discussion. So.
Actually, but I'd like to the next topic, and I don't know, this is getting into some new territory, but the movie, and you have children, the movie Finding Nemo. Now that is a seriously good movie. And I'm not sure it's got the depth and complexity, but for a well-made movie and character development and animation, so we're going to spend a lot of time on that, and perhaps our next video session can be after we've sort of plumbed the depths of Finding Nemo, and because that is one of the finest movies that I have ever seen, and I've also seen that one about 100 times in the last month, courtesy of my 2-year-old. But the funny thing is, when she takes a nap, I'll put it in by myself now to watch it some more. So anyway, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Finding Nemo.
Anybody any idea what the symbolism behind Finding Nemo is? Is there some hidden message there that we need to take home from this?
You know, one of the good things is the importance of the father in raising the children, you know, and most of us have children here, but the dedication of the father, you know, and if you think about one of the interesting and hilarious parts of the movies is the shark in their like support group, because like they're all addicted to eating fish, but they have like their sort of AA meeting for like fish eaters, and it's so funny. And one of the sharks is so impressed by Nemo's dad, and Nemo's dad is searching the world and the oceans for his son, right, and looking everywhere for his son, and the shark breaks down in tears because it explains his addiction problem, and it says, you know, I never knew my father.
How do you see the tears underwater?
Huh?
How do you see tears underwater?
The shark it was a great white, so you know.
I want to ask the tougher question. So how did you relate with Ellen DeGeneres' character, her being kind of in a sexual counterculture and tying out with the whole Dorothy thing?
That is
what
one of the best
feelings there?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So the Ellen DeGeneres character is Dory the fish with the short-term memory loss, and that has to be one of the best characters like in the history of movie. That is really, it's wonderful character development. So, but what does it all mean with the memory loss? I don't think we've really gotten into those sort of into the depths of that.
And yet with great memory loss, she pretty much summed up the whole risk management of life. If you don't let your kid do anything, they won't do anything.
Yeah, there's a great line in there. Nemo's father says, I promised him that Nemo's father said, I promised him I would never let anything happen to him.
I mean, and unfortunately I saw it when I worked with him. Phenomenal salesperson. Phenomenal.
All right.
Anyway, but,
in conclusion.
So in conclusion, Nemo's dad would never have found Nemo without Ellen DeGeneres, and she was like, hey, I forgot what I was going to get into, but it was this. Nemo's dad says, I promised I would never let anything happen to him, and the Ellen DeGeneres character goes, well, how much fun is that for little, she keeps getting his name wrong because of the memory loss problem, for a little Harpo, if nothing ever happened to him, nothing ever happened to him. I mean, how fun would that be? So anyway.
But the memory loss, let's just take that, I want to take that one step farther, that whole concept of short-term memory loss. Momentum, great movie.
Oh yeah.
Watch it.
That was a good movie. It was. Except I had to splice it together.
I never quite fully understood the depth of that interpretation. I've watched it twice.
If you play it backwards, it has a secret in it.
Oh, you got a water.
Okay. I gotta go.
Concluding remarks. So I haven't seen your husband Dave in 30 years, and he is a wonderful human being, very nice, very bright, and a lot of fun. And we've had a wonderful time getting together with these guys, and he's very wholesome. Yeah, he's, if we ever sort of were like heading out down the bad path, he really sort of straightened us out and pointed us back in. Yeah, good, well-developed sense of right and wrong. So we're grateful that you permitted him to join us.
I think you taught him well.
Yeah.